Section 1, let me give you a couple tips before we get rolling into some of the exercises. So far you've learned how to play a single note tongue block, we'll review that in just a moment, and how to hold the harmonica. I also talked a little bit in blues harmonica fundamentals that the harmonica should move in front of you. So let's start with that. When you're moving across the range of the harmonica, in our first chorus, we're going to be moving from hole 3 all the way up to hole 6. As you're moving, have the harmonica glide in front of you. And the reasoning for that is that your angle of attack on the harmonica stays at that 12 o'clock angle. As you move to the high end, if you turn your head, you're actually changing your angle of attack and also the size of the embouchure. This hole gets smaller as it starts moving to the right or moving to the left because of the angle of attack. So the general rule of thumb when you play the harmonica, that your lips are wet, your harmonica face is moist, probably need to lick your lips again, and the harmonica glides in front of the face of the harmonica. So the harmonica is just gliding across the face. If you move up a hole and come back, no problem, just move your head. If you move down a hole and come back, you can move your head. So there's exceptions to this, but generally speaking, the harmonica is going to glide in front of you. Your next tip is play with your head up. If you play with the harmonica player hunch, like that, you commonly see a lot of pictures of harmonica players like that, gravity is going to work against you and have drool going into the harmonica. So if you find yourself having difficulties with the reeds getting plugged up more often than you would like, just check that your head is up so that saliva either stays in your mouth or goes the opposite direction. Every now and again you need to tap out the harmonica anyways. A little bit of spit. What happens is the spit gets in between the reed and the reed slot and stops that reed from vibrating. That happens anyways. That's just a normal part of playing the harmonica. But if you find that it's excessive, just check that your head's up so that you're not drooling into the harmonica. Our next tip has to do with articulations, when to separate the notes. Just by the very nature that you're moving left to right on the harmonica or changing your breath in or out on the harmonica, a lot of the times we do not need to articulate. When we do need to articulate, that's when we play a note or a hole on the harmonica multiple times. Now we can use our breath. For example, if I play 4 blow, you can hear that I played 3 notes. They happen to be the same note but played 3 times. Ha, ha, ha. Just ha, ha, ha. Go ahead and try that with me. Now, if we want to add a little bit more separation, we can start by articulating. And the definition of an articulation is starting with our tongue up, stopping the air, and releasing the air. We can either use ka or ga. K is a little bit more explosive. It's going to be a little bit more powerful for the harmonica. And using the G, the ga, without vocalizing, of course, will be a little bit softer. Which one you use is up to you. Let's try ga, 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 again without vocalizing. Ka, k, k, k. Let's do the same thing, inhaling. Ga, 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 inhaling. Or ka. A little bit more separated with the ka. Now, if your harmonica gets a little spit in there, go ahead and tap it out. You might as well get used to it because that's the thing to do. You can either be preventative and tap your leg on a fairly often basis, or you can wait till it clogs up and then you got to deal with it in the middle of playing. Now for the draw, the ka, let's just think of ka as the universal articulation for the draw. For the blow, we actually don't use that too often. We use the throat. Just a little bit of a cough. It's actually the same muscle that we use for the tremolo. So draw, ka, ka, ka. Blow. And those are our universal articulations. So unless I bring it up, generally speaking, we're not going to articulate. And when are we going to articulate? Commonly when we play the same note multiple times. Your last tip is about tremolo. Most likely you don't want to use it when you're first learning the passage. So our first chorus, the first 8 bars, focus on just blowing, drawing, moving on the harmonica, and being able to play in time. Once you can do that pretty well, listen to my dynamics, how I play soft and loud throughout a lick or throughout an entire chorus. And then listen to my tremolo and try to add the tremolo in. Or you could learn the whole song without the tremolo, and again, listen back to the song to the use of my dynamics where I'm playing loud and soft, how to make my music emotional, and also for the use of the tremolo, which is notated with that squiggly line, so there's no question of where it's used. But generally speaking, for now, it's a good idea to separate those two studies. In the future, every time you play a long held note, a blow or a draw, your default is going to be use a tremolo.